Colbyjack.net is proud to present From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. The people of the fire, the Blesa, led by their queens, have ruled the island of Alfeyju and oppressed the Driva, the people of the ice, for more than 16 generations. With the Drivian King in hiding and little hope on the horizon, the Driva looked to one person to save them from the vile Blesa, the Diviana. According to legend, the divinely gifted Diviana will one day overthrow the Blesa and restore the Drivian King to his rightful throne. But with the search having lasted for more than 400 years, will the Diviana ever come to light? Willow is the slave of the Raskpil family. Bought at the age of 4, 20 years have passed since her life irrevocably changed. Her existence is no worse than any other slave, but within, Willow wonders if there isn't something more she should be doing with her life other than serving the ungrateful. Ordered to travel with her master's family to Sondertoft, so her master's adult children can take part in an ancient rite of passage, Willow is shocked when she learns that she too must participate. Will she fail, as all before her have? Will she rise to the challenge and become stronger after passing through the flames? Episode 35. There was a sudden thickness in her throat. This would be the first person she'd admit that fact to who wasn't threatening her. The enormity of her revelation hit her hard, but she swallowed back the emotion that tried to overtake her composure. "Yes, sir, you are." Alfeyju sat back again, contemplating her for a few minutes. "What you've told me is very interesting, but it doesn't answer my question. Why do you think I'm your king?" "Being who I am, I have a certain amount of knowledge, which allows me to know things others couldn't. For example, I know the name of every person in your family tree. I do not know what they all look like, but I do know what the first king looked like when he set foot on Alfeyju's beach. His striking characteristics were passed down from father to son over the generations with very few changes. You bear those same distinctive features. When I saw you in the market, I immediately knew who you were." "Really?" Alfeyju said. "Let us pretend for a moment I am who you believe me to be. If I were to ask you what the name of my father's brother was, you would say—" "I would say your father did not have a brother. He had 3 sisters, but he was the only son of his parents," Willow answered easily. "As interesting as this all is," Sigurd said, his voice breaking into Alfeyju and Willow's battle of wills, startling them both. They had been so focused on each other that they'd forgotten that anyone else was in the room. "We should really be focusing on how we're going to get out of the city." Giving her companions an apologetic smile, she said, "He is right. The guards are looking for us. We need to leave for Rosa quickly." "Why are they hunting for you? What have you done to draw their attention?" Alfeyju asked. "We were by the waterfall, relaxing, when 2 guards came up to us and ordered us to state our business. We did, but they didn't like our answers. Then they tried to force us into the city. There was a little scuffle, and it ended with us getting away," Hawk said, giving the abbreviated and highly edited version of events. "Why did you come into the city instead of going into the forest?" Alfeyju asked. "They are brutal hunters within the city walls, but in the forest they are lost as children. You could have lost them very easily by fleeing." "We had hoped to blend into the crowds. We also need to restock our supplies before we went on our next journey," Sigurd said. "We never thought they'd close the gates, barring us from escaping." "They only close the gates when they're trying to catch criminals," Alfeyju said, "and only then the most dangerous ones. We have seen murderous thieves break out of prison, and their escapes haven't produced the crackdown your actions today have. I can't imagine what you could have done to deserve this type of treatment." When nobody answered his dig for information, he sighed. You will stay here tonight. The gates will be forced to open tomorrow morning, or else trade will be unable to take place, and this city depends on the markets. You will leave during the mid-morning crowds when they'll be too busy to search for you. Once you're out of the city, you should have no trouble evading anyone else looking for you. Thank you. We appreciate all you have done for us, Willow said, feeling a weight lifted off her shoulders. They were safe for tonight. That was more than she could have asked for when the guards had begun chasing them. It is nothing. You'll have enough danger to worry about tomorrow, so rest tonight. Help yourselves to anything you need in the kitchen. You all may sleep here by the fire, he finished, getting to his feet. Thank you again, Willow said, also getting to her feet, the others murmuring their own thanks. Good night. Good night, Your Majesty. Nobody said anything more until Aluak and Rokia were both up the stairs and out of sight. How did you know who he was? And don't give us the same answer you gave him, because I don't believe it for a second, Sigurd said, sitting back on his chair. Forget about that, Hawk countered. I want to know where you've been all day, and where's the book you went looking for? I'll tell you everything, after we get something to eat. I'm starving, aren't you? Willow said, making her way into the kitchen. After she'd made them all something to eat, they sat at the small table. Willow took a bite of food and said, First off, I did find the Book of Ivy. It was in a sealed cave behind the waterfall. I knew it, Hawk said. I knew it was there. No, you didn't. Willow's the one who brought up the idea, Sigurd said. But I was thinking of it before she suggested it, so I was right. As Sigurd opened his mouth, Willow said, Do you want to hear the rest of what I have to say, or do you want me to leave so you two can argue with each other? Hawk and Sigurd looked at each other for a second before Sigurd said, Sorry about that. We'll listen. As I was saying, the book was behind the waterfall, but I couldn't take it with me. Don't you remember me saying I had to read it during the day? I had to read it in the cave during the day, alone, while holding Val. That book was going to stay in that cave no matter how much I wanted to take it with me. What did it say? Did it tell you what and where the other sacred objects are? Hawk asked, unable to stay quiet. Speaking slowly, as she gathered her jumbled memories, she said, The book was unlike anything I've ever seen before. It was more than words. It was images and memories and lifetimes. Willow shook her head. What she'd experienced had been so indescribable, so beyond everything that she didn't really know what to say. But she tried her best. To answer your question, no, not exactly. I know better where they are, but I can't tell you what they are. Then what was the point in you reading the bloody thing? Sigurd asked under his breath. Seeing the reproving looks he received from both Willow and Hawk, he scowled. Sorry, when I'm tired, I get critical. Do you know where we're going next? Yes, we're heading to Enora, the northmost part of Alfeyju. We will need to send word to the Faruf and have them meet us somewhere, Willow said. We could see if Aluak would be willing to send one of his men with the message, Hawk suggested. But why don't we go back to Henfrid? Why have them meet us somewhere? Have you forgotten those men we cleverly avoided? Sigurd asked. They still might be looking for us, waiting for us to come walking down the road and get mowed down. Right. Forgot them. Sorry, Hawk said, rubbing his tired face with his hand. Forgot them? How could you have forgotten them? Sigurd asked. This earned him another glare from Willow. Get out the map. We'll decide where to meet the ship and then go to bed. I'm exhausted, Willow said, unsuccessfully stifling a yawn. She felt as if she'd been up a few lifetimes, and her brain refused to work much longer. Reaching into his pocket, Hawk pulled out the map and laid it on the table. Everyone hunched over it, trying to locate the nearest port. This looks like the nearest port, Sigurd said after a minute of silence. It's what, 4 days' ride from here? 3 if we push it, Hawk said, studying the map. But we have to allow a few days for the messenger to get to Henfred and for the ship to get to the port. If we go to this port, Necker, it's another day's ride, but the Falroof should be there by the time we arrive in town. So it's settled, Willow said. Tomorrow we start for Necker. We won't push ourselves, but we also won't travel slower than normal. You have been listening to From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. Read, recorded, mastered, encoded, and produced by Colbyjack.net. This work is released under a Creative Commons 3.0 Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Do what you want with it, just don't try to profit from it. Heaven knows we can't. If you have any questions, comments, or rants you wish to share with us, we can be reached at Colbyjack at Colbyjack.net. That's COLBYTRAX @COLBYJACK.net. Yep, I sing it too. If you want to follow the exploits of Trisha in Twitterland, just search for Lady Trisha W on Twitter, or follow the ever-dashing, courageous, hardworking, intelligent, and immensely humble Colbyjack on the Twitters as well. If you find that you can't, just wait to find out what will happen with Willow, the strong dude and the annoying dude. Be heartened to know that From the Flames is available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Smashwords, as well as from our little shop. Didn't you know about our little shop? Why, yes, we have a little shop located at shop. That's shop.colbyjack.net. That's shop.colbyjack.net. Yeah, real original there. There you will find the latest ebook versions of all our works in both Mobi and ebook, all DRM-free, as well as audiobook versions of such works as Firmware Hijacked and Proxy, as well, naturally, as well as From the Flames. The audiobooks differ from the podcasts in that the headers and bumpers only run once, and the episodes are grouped in hour-long episodes for easy burning to CD or for downloading on the go. If you find you don't need any stuff, but just want to thank us monetarily for our efforts here, just head on over to Colbyjack.net, select either audio or visual, and look for the donate button located on the blog roll. Well, anyway, thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week, and remember to be fabulous.